Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me? Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me, beta? Tell me in your chat box. Can you hear me, beta? Assalamu alaikum. Okay, madam. Bilad, Fatima. Okay. Next is Makia. Okay, beta. This is our lecture number 29, and the chapter name is uh, Pakistan as a welfare state. So, and this is our last chapter, last lecture of this chapter. Is it clear? So, in the next week, hopefully, we are going to start our revision. So, what will be the pattern of revision? I will tell you, inshallah, in next lecture. And today we are going to wind up this chapter. So we have to wait for some minutes for other students. So if you have any question, then you ask me. You can ask me in the chat box. Okay. Okay, beta, open your books. We are going to start our lecture properly. So as I told you that this is the lecture number 29, and the chapter name is Pakistan as a welfare state. So first of all, I will remind you the definition of Walaikum Assalam Zimel Bilad Maida Fatima Ji. How are you all? Okay. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Okay, beta. Our first topic, today's first topic is actually universal education. But first of all, I want to ask a question. Tell me the actual meaning or definition of Pakistan as a welfare state, but you have to tell me the actual definition of a welfare state. What is the meaning of welfare state? Ishal, Abdulahad, Fatima Zimel, Bilad. Better tell me, Shafin. Why Shafin is here in this class? Shafin Jabbar, why are you here in this class? Okay. Yes. Zimil, I'm fine, beta. Okay, beta, tell me the answer of my question. What is the meaning of a welfare state? Tell me in your chat box. Actually, this is the definition of basically this chapter, and we are going to discuss different objectives of a welfare state. So, my question is this: that what is the meaning of welfare state? Yes, Abdul Rahman said that welfare state means the administration who cares about basic needs for its citizen. Very good, well done. Yes. And maintain justice as well. Yes. System whereby the state undertakes to protect the health and well-being of its citizens. Well done, Zimel. Very good answer. Well done, all of you. Anyone else? Okay. Bilad, a state that cares for the basic. Uh, Bilad is saying that a state that give protection to people and their property and health, it give relief to people. Very good, well done. A state that cares for the basic needs of its citizens and enables them to live a peaceful life. Well done, all of you. You have written your point of view about a welfare state. That's why it's great. Thank you so much. Now we will start our lecture, and actually, I want to tell you the actual meaning of welfare state. That is, a welfare state needs a welfare state uh, provides the basic needs of the citizens, and it also fulfills their needs, and welfare is the primary duty of the state. So a welfare state basically provides every facility to its citizens, basic facility to its citizens, like health, education, justice, equality, everything. And this will be the primary duty of a state. Through this, a state can be called a welfare state. Is it clear? Okay. Now open your books, and page number, sorry, 164. Okay. Universal education. It means universal education means the education must be there in a welfare state, like the universal level. Is it clear? According to a universal level. So the citizens of any country can survive in other countries easily. Is it clear? So the education of any country, or you can say any welfare state, must be the universal level. So what is the actual meaning and which type of the education must be there? We can read in this paragraph. Education is recognized as a basic and fundamental right of individuals in Islam as well as in the UN Charter. UN Charter means United Nations Charter. So education is the basic right of any human being, any person who is living in a society, in a country, especially in a welfare society. Education is recognized as a basic and fundamental right of the individuals in Islam as well as in the UN Charter and United Nations Charter. United Nation has its own different departments, and United Nations and the member of United Nations especially focused are very much focused on the education department. So in an Islamic country, being an Islamic country, we are going to discuss the um, uh, objectives of a welfare state. In Islam, there is the very much Islam emphasis on education, and gives very much attention towards education. Yes, beta Vilad, education of good things such as taqwa and other things according to Islam. Yes, beta, obviously. These are the basically Islamic things, Islamic point of views, and an Islamic state also must be focused on the Department of Education, because Islam is the name of education. When Islam starts, then the first word, which was the first word? Ikra, यानी कि पढ़, अपने रब के नाम से पढ़. So Islam is a very much focused towards education, and whether this will be the education of Islamic point of view, or whether the universal education. Is it clear? So, as you know, and also every human being has a basic right to get education. When you have read the basic rights of the citizens in your sixth class especially, if you remember, then we saw that there are most of the basic rights, like right to get property, right to get education, right to live, right to go anywhere, right to justice, right to equality. So education is the basic right of any human being. Abdurrahman, I don't know about it. What are you asking? And right now you have to be focused towards your lecture, and you are right that right to liberty, beta, not library. Right to liberty. Okay, let's move. Underline these lines. Actually, this paragraph and the first point of this paragraph, these are most important paragraphs. So that's why I mentioned here. Education should be free and compulsory up to a specific level for all citizens. So, education should be free and compulsory for a specific level for all citizens. Like in our country, many schemes were started in the past that education should be free at the level of primary or at the level of middle. So they are saying the same thing. Education should be free and compulsory up to a specific level for all citizens. After this level, equal opportunities being provided to all individuals for receiving higher education. Is it clear? At a specific level, education should be free and compulsory, and after that level, all type of opportunities of getting or receiving higher education, there should be the equal opportunities for all the individuals, or for all the citizens. So this requires increase in the number of educational institutions and other facilities. So if we want to increase the ratio of education, and the government wants to give the equal opportunities to all the citizens for high education, then it requires, this demand requires actually to increase in number of educational institutions and other facilities. In Pakistan, efforts are in progress for attaining the target of universal education. So, being an Islamic state, education is the foremost objective of our Pakistani government, and also most of the things are in progress for attaining the target of universal education. So, following steps have been taken the spread of education in the country. So, most of the steps have been taken to spread the education in our country, and the first step is the most important step. Then after that, you have to look your book, and I will explain the other steps there. First of all, reforms in education known as education sector reforms. So ESR is the abbreviation, which is actually called education sector reforms. Reforms mean to work for the work which has been done for the welfare of the citizens. So, reforms in education, which department or which kind of reforms are being taken in the country, in our country, that are called the education sector reforms. Is it clear? ESR have been introduced in our country. The purpose of these reforms is to introduce a system which fulfills the need and obligations of independent ideological state of Pakistan. Is it clear? So these reforms, the purpose of these reforms is to introduce a system which fulfills the need and obligations of independent ideological state of Pakistan. Okay. So this is a very important step for the Pakistanis and from the side of government of Pakistan. So the new system, which new system? ESR. The new system will ensure access to every citizen to receive education. So underline these lines. These first two paragraphs are most important paragraphs, and look at the last line once again. The new system, which new system? Education sector reforms. This new system will ensure the access to every citizen to receive education uh, equally, as we discussed in our first paragraph. Here in the third line, that education should be free and compulsory up to a specific level for all citizens. And as I told you, that in the past and in the present also, most of the governments aimed that education should be free at primary level or the middle level. So after this level, equal opportunities being provided to all individuals for receiving higher education. For this purpose, education sector reforms have been started or introduced. So the new system will ensure the access to every citizen to receive education. So now there are some other steps which have been taken in this objective. So look at your book and underline these important lines. Especially, you can see that the study of Islamiyat and Pakistan studies is compulsory to make the children enlightened and better individuals for understanding the real spirit of Islam and the importance of Pakistan. The study of Islamiyat and the study of Pakistan studies is compulsory in our country. Is it clear? Underline these lines. And next, steps are being taken to discourage the tendency of business in education. A plan is underway to provide free education up to class 10th in a phased manner. So, one plan is also underway to provide free education up to class 10th. Is it clear? So, the service structure and the service condition of the teachers are being made better. And if the service conditions are being made better, then they will perform better in their fields, and enabling them to work with interest and devotion. Is it clear? So, a program of award of scholarships to the different scholars, and also, in the other hand, to the poor students. Um, the government decided to give the awards, or you can say the scholarships, for the poor students who are very intelligent and want to get higher education. So these awards have been started by Pakistan through the Baitul Mal, through the Department of Baitul Mal. Underline these lines. And also, an awareness campaign has been started on radio and TV to create interest among the people to educate their children, especially in the girls. And this problem is where? This problem is in the rural areas, in the backward areas. They do not send their girls in the school in the specific after the specific classes like primary or middle. They do not send their girls especially in the schools. So an awareness campaign should be there for the people who are against the education of the girls. And very important point is that right on the book, very important point. So a very important point is a program, namely Education for All. EFA, Education for All, has been started throughout the Pakistan. Under this scheme, non-formal basic education at institutes have been opened in the rural areas. So Education for All is basically a scheme which is being started for the rural areas. Books and educational materials are provided in these institutions, and the number of these institutions are present in our country around almost 10,000, which will gradually rise to about 8,000, 80,000 according to the government scheme, or you can say according to the government planning. Is it clear? So underline these lines. A scheme of public private partnership has been started also. So, under this scheme, non government organizations, it means NGOs and different community based organizations, CBOs, will establish institutions in the rural areas. So, you can see that most of the schemes are for the rural areas. To increase the educational ratio, the government has been started different type of the schemes, especially for the rural areas. So education foundations have been set up in all provinces and at federal level to provide financial help to private educational institutions. So foundation is also started at government level in the provinces and in the federal levels as well as, which provides the financial help to the institutions which need the some financial help in the educational sector. Is it clear? So these are all the reforms. If the government will fulfill these all these schemes, our country's education is also uh, touch the universal educational level. Is it clear? So next point is universal brotherhood and peace. So this is also on the page number 165, and this is the most important topic. The whole topic is most important. So the present world has practically shrunk into a global village. What is the meaning of global village? What do you know about the global village? Anyone? Please tell me in your chat box. What is the meaning of global village? We all are familiar of this word, whole village, global village, beta Abdurrahman, Fatima Zimil, Bilad, try to write something. No, no Abdurrahman, not, no. Whole village, pura country? No beta, this is not the right answer. Okay, we are all familiar with the word that nowadays our world is like a global village. because of fast communication. Is it clear? Because of fast communication, nowadays we are living in a global village. Yes, you can say to some extent means a single community. It means that the whole world nowadays is like a single community. Is it clear? We can get any type of information for anyone individually or collectively or for any country in within a second. Every information is on the one click nowadays. So through the fast and communication, we can say that nowadays we are living in a global village. Is it clear? So the present world has practically shrunk into a global village. Modern scientific developments, technologies, and communications have reduced the distance. Is it clear? Now the point is clear in your minds. I repeat, modern scientific developments, technologies, and communications have reduced the distance. Nations of the world have come closer to each other. All this is the meaning of the global village. Is it clear? Okay. So when everyone is come closer to each other, the conquest of the space and the role of satellites have further reduced the distance. So developments, technologies, and communication also reduce the distance, as well as the conquest of space and role of satellites have further reduced the distance. An atmosphere of brotherhood has come into existence. So when we are going to live in a global village like atmosphere, then the atmosphere of brotherhood has come into existence. United Nations has also played a vital role, had played a very important role in bringing the nations of world closer to each other. All you know that the United Nations is an organization in which the most of the countries of the world are together. They work together. They contribute to help the others together. So the United Nations has also played a vital role in bringing the nations of world closer to each other. Now the problems of the world are common to all nations. Now the problems of all worlds are the same for the all nations, and they thought that they think that the problem of one country is the problem for all. In the event of different type of the destructions, catastrophe, famine, uh, countries of the world quickly come to rescue of affected part of the world. So through the platform of United Nations, and also being the citizens of a global village, all the countries are with each other, are working with each other, are helpful to each other. And if there will be any type of event of catastrophe, it means destruction. Event of destruction. Catastrophe means destruction, famine, and any other event. The countries of the whole world quickly come to rescue of the affected part of the world. So Pakistan has also long acted in the responsible manner and has proved itself as a peace loving country. Underline this line. It has always maintained cordial relations with all the countries of the world. It has supported the United Nations to maintain peace in the world. Pakistan is a member of a number of world organizations which promote brotherhood and peace in the world. Is it clear? Pakistan is also the member of the Islamic countries organization, which is OIC, Organization of Islamic Country, as well as Pakistan is the member of United Nations and different other organizations of the world which promote brotherhood and peace in the world. Is it clear? Okay, underline these lines. The whole topic is most important topic. As an Islamic country, Pakistan believes in the Islamic principle of peaceful coexistence for universal brotherhood, peace, and atmosphere of love among the nations is to be created. It is therefore necessary that disputes between different countries are peacefully and through the table talks. Pakistan also focused is also very much focused about the table talks, and the government of Pakistan always thinks that there is a need of table talks to resolve the different disputes, like the Kashmir dispute is a very major dispute between Pakistan and India, and Pakistan also always thinks that there should be a positive table talk for this to resolve this dispute, and the rights and freedoms of every country is being protected. This is also the aim of Pakistan being an Islamic state. Is it clear? So Pakistan is very much focused towards the universal brotherhood and peace. So next topic is just and equitable distribution of the resources. Is it clear? So when the resources are limited and the needs are on the increase, neither the resources can equitably be distributed nor the dream of a welfare state can be translated into reality. So there must be the distribution of resources will be much clear. Moreover, the resources of and the distribution of the resources must be equally distribute into the all the citizens. Moreover, the resources of all the countries are not the same and equal. That's true, that every country has its own resources, every country has its own mm, resources, and there are the resources are not the same and equal in every country. Some areas have less resources, resulting in the poor standard of living of people. On the other hand, some areas are fertile and people are living an easy and comfortable life. So the resources mark the difference between the rich and the poor country, and that's why this is the basically difference between the rich and the poor countries. Why a country is rich and why another is poor? The reason is that the resources are not equal and same in all the countries. The welfare state can only be established when the disparities in the society are removed, and class conflict and regional bias are checked with balanced distribution of national resources. Is it clear? The class conflict and regional bias are the more uh, big problems of any country. So there should be a balanced distribution of the national resources throughout the country, throughout the provinces. There is a difference between the production and resources in the different parts of Pakistan. Some areas are industrially developed and some are backward. Means of transportation and communication are not equally developed throughout the country. The government has been trying to overcome these problems, and a network of education is being set up throughout the country. Is it clear? Okay. So all these, as a result, we can say that the uh, resources should be equal there, and all type of the means of transportation, communication are should be developed equally in all the parts of the country. Then after that we can just and equitable the distribution of the with the distribution of the resources. Next one is role of the individuals in a welfare state. So, what is the role of role of an individual in an in a welfare state? When a welfare state is supposed to meet all the basic needs of citizens, the citizens are also required to fulfill their obligations towards the state. Following are some of the important duties of an individual to remain loyal. Obviously, an individual should be loyal to its state and get ready for sacrifice, for any sacrifice at the time of test, at the time of any destruction, problem. The individuals should be ready for their country to show respect to the rights of the fellow citizens. Okay, we should also respect our fellow citizens and protect their lives, honor and property. Okay, not to misuse the facilities provided by the state for general public, like electricity, gas, water supply system, public parks, means of transportation and public property. We should not misuse these facilities which provided by the state. To take part individually or collectively in the welfare activities to keep the environment clean. These are all better duties of an individual. These are all the duties of the citizen of any country to pay the taxes regularly, not to damage government or private property at the time of protest or agitation. You can see that nowadays, if you watch the TV or news, you can see that much agitation is going throughout the country, and the people who are protesting, they are also damaging the different vehicles, traffic signals, shops. This is not good. So any individual should be responsible towards his country and his country's different properties. These properties might be government level or the private sector. We should all respect all these properties. So to share hands in the welfare projects, and he or she should start welfare projects on self-help basis, and then to help the poor, handicapped and needy people in neighborhood, to help government against the activities of anti-social elements, and to receive education, learn skills, utilize natural resources, to accelerate the pace of progress. To accelerate the pace means to get the fast steps of progress. Is it clear? So that's all for today, dear students. If you have any question, then you can ask me in your chat box. After my lecture, I will upload your home assignment, and you have to do this home assignment in the same copy in which you have done in the previous home assignment. Is it clear? So if you have any question, you can ask me, and okay, I will take your attendance. And okay, tell me the actual meaning of universal brotherhood. We have some time, so you can give me the answer in your chat box. And Sheikh Muhammad Zaid, beta, check your email ID and write it in a decent manner. Okay, beta, tell me in your chat box. What is the meaning of universal brotherhood? Who is this, beta? Yes, to maintain the peace between each other. Abdul Rahman, yes, but this is not the actual meaning. Yes, Bilal, Moise, what is the